Hi everyone, it's Barry here from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me for this week's Fun Fold Friday video tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make a triple diamond fun fold card using a variety of Stampin' Up products, all of which can be purchased from us via our online shop. Details of our online shop can be found on screen right now, so if you just head over to mitosucrafts.com/shop and you can purchase your Stampin' Up craft supplies from us via that link right there on screen right now. So that is open to anyone who lives in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Austria, Belgium and Ireland. So if you live in any one of those countries, you can shop with us. So yes, but I'm going to crack on. Let's go camera down. I will discuss and go through the products in a second. So I'll go camera down and yes, so sit back, relax and enjoy. Okay, so some of the products which I'm going to be using for today is I'm going to be using the Labelled with Love stamp set, which is this one right here. I'm actually just going to be using it for this butterfly on here because I think it's a really nice butterfly, and I'm going to be showing you a technique with some daubers on this particular one. And I'm going to be using my go-to sentiment at the moment, which is the Happy Birthday sentiment from the Simply Said stamp set. So that's the ones which I am going to be using. As for designer series paper, I'm going to be using this designer series paper right here, which is the Thoughtful Designs 12x12 designer series paper pack. And this is the one right here. Now I haven't got all the designs at the moment because we've used them all, but this is just a couple. This is 3 of the designs which you get in there and colours. I am actually going to be using this blue one here for today. So it's a really, really nice ombre effect. It's got this kind of shimmer, kind of like a silver kind of resist on it, so it's really nice and shiny, and you've got this nice ombre effect going throughout all of this. So depending on how that light catches depends on what you see. So a really, really lovely piece of paper as well, so add that to your shopping list if that is something you like. As for measurements and so on, these are what we are going to be using right here. So I will be working in inches for this particular video, but don't worry, I will pop the inches and the centimetre measurements down somewhere around about down here. They will pop up on the screen for you as I mention them, so don't worry if you work in centimetres or inches, both of them will be on there for you, so you can quite easily follow along. But first of all, I'm going to be using some Petunia Pop cardstock. I'll just grab my measurements out right here. So this here is measuring 6 inches by 8 1/4 inches. You will also need yourself some mat and layers here. So I've got myself some Pretty Peacock cardstock. So I've got 2 here which are measuring 1 7/8 of an inch by 5 3/4 of an inch. So I've got 2 of those. And I have also got 2 pieces here measuring 1 1/8 of an inch by 1 1/8 of an inch. I think I just said 2, didn't I? I meant 3. So 3 squares there. So they're 1 1/8 of an inch by 1 1/8 of an inch. And for your designer series paper, you will need here 2 pieces which is measuring 1 3/4 of an inch by 5 5/8 of an inch. So 2 of those. And you will need 3 pieces measuring 1 inch by 1 inch. And that's what I've got. So these will be a perfect mat and layer for these pieces right here. And that's all you're going to need for this particular card, okay? So for the cutting and scoring measurements, what we're going to do is we're going to take our Petunia Pop card base and we are going to pop this in our scoreboard or our trimmer, and I am going to score this along the long edge here at 2 1/8 of an inch. And then 3 1/8 of an inch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to 4 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to pop a little mark here, top and bottom. So 4 1/8 and 4 1/8. So I've kind of got my first score line, my second score line, and I've got a little mark here, bottom and top. And I'm just going to repeat those measurements on the opposite side here. So 2 1/8 of an inch, and then 3 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I don't need to do the marking because I've already gone ahead and done that. Now what we want to do is we now want to turn this onto the short edge like this, and we now want to do some cutting, and we want to cut this at 2 inches and 4 inches between those score lines. So what we want to do is we want to cut 2 inches from this score line down to this score line, and then at 4 inches from this stand down to this line right here. So I'm just going to prop it in at 2 and take it over to 4 and cut like that. So you've now ended up with 3 equal sections right here. Okay, so that's all of our scoring and our cutting done for the time being. Now we need to put the diagonal score lines into this. So we're going to have to do this manually. And I've got myself my Stampin' Pierce mat right here, which is very handy for when doing these things. And I've also got myself a scoring tool. This is one of our scoring tools from the Simply Scored scoreboard. So very, very handy tool to have for this one. But anything you've got which will score will be good. And what you want to do is you want to basically score diagonally from this one down to here. And then from that one down to there. We basically want to put score lines in all of this. So I think it might be easier for me to actually draw this in and then in pencil, and then you can then see it. So I'm going to score from that score line down to this corner right here. And then from that one down to this one. Just work methodically on this one, as I found it's just the easiest way of doing it. And then from that one down to that mark. Okay, and then from that mark to that corner, like so. And then repeat that on the opposite side, so you can go from that mark to the corner. From that corner to that corner. From that corner to that corner. And from that corner to that mark. So those are the score lines you're going to pop in. So I've done that all in pencil for you so you can see where they all are. It's just basically, it's just connecting up corners and creating basically 6, in a way, I suppose 6, well it's 6 crosses here. If you break this into little 6 panels, that's what you need to do. So this is now where this Simply Scored comes in handy, and this one. And then you can then just go ahead and then you can then score these in manually. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Just a little tip for you. Don't go right to the edge and stop before you get to the cut line, because if you're pushing too hard and you get to the cut line, you're going to probably end up going through the paper. So just kind of go to just close to the edge, but not right to the edge, and close to the cut line, and then stop, and then do exactly the same. As long as you've got the score line there, when you come to fold it will be easy. Okay, so once you've done your scoring, you should end up with something which looks like this, where you've got all of these little diamonds in here right now. So what we want to do is we want to do some folding. Okay, so I'm going to fold this one over like this. And then I'm going to then fold that one over like that. So I've got myself basically a bit of a valley fold going on. Then what we want to do is we want to then carefully just go through this and then fold all of these diagonals down. So doing a diagonal like that, and then like that. And you want to go through and do that on all of these. So I'm just going to do that on this one side first. Okay, and then that should then, if you kind of just pinch in those side parts right here, then we go over and then we can then fold it. And then you just want to repeat that on the opposite side. And that there is your triple diamond fun fold card. So it's quite straightforward. You just need to just make sure you get your scoring equal, and you would end up doing that. And so it's a bit fiddly when doing that, but just work with it. It will, once it's folded, it will naturally go into place, and then that then folds like this, which will then go into an envelope. If it is a little bit tight for an envelope, you've got some room on the sides here. You can shorten, so you can trim a little bit off this and off of this side here if you want it to fit into an envelope a little bit easier. So just check that before you go ahead and decorate it. But it should go into a standard C6 envelope anyway. So there we go. So that's that. So when it comes to decoration, we are going to grab these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick these Designer Series papers down onto my Pretty Peacock mats. And then once you've got those pieces, then just go ahead and then stick those to your side panels and to your diamond parts, like so. There we have it. So that there is that part now decorated, and just see how beautiful that Designer Series paper is, and it just pops up against Petunia Pop cardstock. So that's that one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to decorate this with some sentiments and the butterflies. So if you remember me saying at the beginning, I'm going to be using the Labelled with Love stamp set right here for these butterflies. So I'm just going to stamp these using some Memento ink. So I'm just going to take the outline here first, and I'm just going to ink this up twice. Like that. And then you can either go ahead and you can colour this with some Stampin' blends, or it has this stamp right here, which is for your infill colour. So what I'm going to do is I have got myself some red and I have got myself some yellow. So Real Red and Daffodil Delight. I'm going to grab myself some of the daubers. So I've got two daubers here, one in the red and one in the yellow. And I'm going to ink this up in the lightest colour first, so the yellow. So I go all over. And then I'm going to take my red dauber and I'm just going to kiss the outside of this like that. Okay. And then I'm going to just ink up some of the yellow again, and then I'm just going to go round over that red just to soften it. Okay. And that will then put some of the red as well. It'll move it around a little bit. Take this and then stamp over the top. And then you get this lovely two-tone effect as well right here. And then we get these lovely, I just think it's a really, really lovely effect. You get it's a really nice solid. So play around with your colours if you're doing this as well. Create some lovely different coloured butterflies. So that there is how you create those butterflies, using the two stamps which are in that set and using some daubers. So grab yourself a packet of daubers as well if you haven't got those. So what we're going to do now is we are going to have to fussy cut these out. Unfortunately, there is no die for them, but they are easy enough that you can easily cut these ones out. So I'm just going to do that now. And there we have it. We've got my two butterflies right there. Whilst I was at it as well, I didn't show you on camera, there is, I just stamped out the happy birthday sentiment from the Simply Said stamp set, and then I've just gone and then cut it down so it's just the correct size for me, and that's what I've got. So I've got my two butterflies and that. So keeping the decoration really, really simple on this one, letting the fold of the card do all the talking. And this is going to go on like that and like that. So I'm going to pop that onto some dimensionals, I think, on this. And there we have it. That there is today's fun fold cards. So with those lovely, I think again, these butterflies just pop off of this Designer Series paper, and obviously with the contrast of the Petunia Pop here as well, and that sentiment is just, so you can pop any sentiment on there, but you want something which is thin enough that you don't hide the work which you've already got undone, and then that will stand up like so. So it would look really, really pretty on anyone's top. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've done for you today, and that there is the triple diamond fun fold card. So yes, I hope you feel inspired to have a go at doing that yourself. I hope you've enjoyed that. It's a very easy card to do as well. I say that for all of my fun folds, but they are. I wouldn't bring you anything which I didn't think which was too complicated. They are. Just follow the step-by-step instructions which I've done for you, with the folding and scoring, and I'm sure you'll be able to create something yourself like this. Okay, so do have a little go. If you do create stuff, do make sure you share with us as well. We'd love to see your projects. So you can head over to, there's links down below for our Facebook groups, so you can head over to our Crafty Stampers group, go in there, go and ask to join that group, where we can let you in, and then that's where you can just share your inspiration, ideas, ask questions. So do come along and have a little check out that out as well, and that's where obviously you can post some stuff with what we have done if you want to. But yeah, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed watching me create this, and we will be back with you again next Friday, same time, same place, for another Fun Fold Friday, and also on a Sunday and a Wednesday 7 PM is our normal slot, when we come to you live on YouTube. So if you want to come along and chat with us live, then do so as well. But we will see you hopefully at one of those either lives or Fun Fold Friday next week. But in the meantime, have a great week. Thank you very much, and we will see you again soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye.